This is Jim Wyatt at Tennessean, joined by Tennessean colleague John Glennon out here at Baptist Sports Park. And while Rustin Webster and Mike Munchak have been hunkered down upstairs over the past 3 days, along with the members of the scouting department and the coaching department, John Glennon and I have been hunkered down here in the media room at Baptist Sports Park, kind of waiting for this draft to play out. And the end is now here. The Titans have signed 8 players over the last 3 days, starting with Chance Warmack and ending with Damian Stafford, the safety from Nebraska. I think in between they got a lot of players. They're going to create a heck of a lot of competition at several spots, especially at offensive line with big Warmack and Swinky coming in here from Cal, and then a receiver with Justin Hunter coming in here from Tennessee. So a lot of competition here. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out here over the next couple of weeks. What do you think about how they did? And I said the next couple of weeks. It'll be interesting how things play out here over the next couple of months and the years ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they had a lot of competition. I like the fact that there's potentially even some starters in here. Obviously, you have to believe Chance Warmack is going to step in right away and start, and maybe there's another starting offensive lineman right away in Brian Schwenke. Certainly the center position is up for grabs, I would say, at this point. So you might be looking at 2 starting offensive linemen in this draft. I think Justin Hunter is going to add a nice bit of verticality to the passing game, something that they didn't have a lot of last year with Kenny Britt being injured. Some other key, I think, getting another couple of big cornerbacks is big because that was an area of deficiency also. And I think the UConn cornerback, Bleedy Ray Wilson, is a guy who'll contend for a starting spot here. So a lot of good moves. I think 2 of the moves that I was a little surprised that maybe we didn't see were one, defensive tackle. A lot of people had speculated that maybe they might even go defensive tackle in the first round. They ended up not getting a defensive tackle at all. And then defensive end they didn't address until today in the 5th round. I think that was a little bit of a surprise as well. Maybe would have thought something a little bit earlier in that regard.
Yeah, and I think the way this draft plays out, I just think what happens in front of it kind of dictates the direction it go. I mean, I know a lot of people did have them taking defensive tackle earlier. Let's say Warmack would have been off the board by the time they pick. Maybe they get a defensive tackle at that point if they got somebody highly rated there, and this draft takes on a completely different feel. But I think what the Titans did, especially with the first pick in Warmack, and then when they came back around with Justin Hunter, they went after the best player that was available. Hunter, they aggressively moved up to get him, which I think was a good move for this team, because I think they would have lost him if they would have sat back at their draft position six spots later. So creates a heck of a lot of competition at receiver with Hunter coming in, and then we mentioned big Warmack and Swinky on the offensive line. Boy, a heck of a lot of competition there. There's going to be some guys that have been around here for a while and not going to be here in 2013. And then you mentioned the 2 corners. I mean, they've gotten a lot better there. Didn't get a middle linebacker. That's one other spot I thought they would maybe give themselves a little bit more insurance for Colin McCarthy. I know they got Moses Foku from the Colts early this offseason, but I scratched my head a little bit at the Gooden selection, just because he sounds like the same guy, Zach Brown, who they got last year, that outside linebacker from North Carolina.
I was going to mention the same thing. If there's a head scratcher for me, it's Xavier Gooden. I understand you need to fill a void behind Zach Brown. They didn't have another weak side linebacker, but to do that with a 3rd round pick, I think you can probably wait later to get a guy in that regard. On the other hand, he does bring speed, and he should be a special team standout as well with that kind of speed and athleticism, so he should at least help in that as a rookie.
These guys are scheduled. Rookie orientation starts, I think, May the 11th, and the Titans will start some mini camps at the end of May, or so at least some off-season work on the field at the end of May, and then the mini camps start in June. The final one, June the 18th to the 20th. Rustin Webster, the general manager, said today that they kind of sit back, survey what they have here over the next bit, see if they still need to add a couple of more pieces here, whether in free agency or certainly going to add some more undrafted free agents as well. But it's going to be a completely different look on this team. 12 new free agents, 8 new draft picks, not kind of undrafted free agents. The third of this team could be different. Probably shake-up's good for a team that finished 6-10 last year.
Absolutely, and I think that the clearest sign of that is going to be in the offensive line. I was looking the other day at the group that finished this year on the offensive line, and you're talking about guys like Kyle Devan, Deuce Latui, players like that. And when you look at what's coming in now, you've got the two excellent rookies. You've got Andy Levitre, who you signed, and even for depth purposes, you've got guys like Rob Turner and Chris Spencer. So I think that's the clear sign of any position that this is going to be a very new team coming up next year.
Yeah, and certainly, and while not only guys on the roster right now are on the spot, Jake Locker's on the spot too, because this is a quarterback who they've accumulated a lot of weapons this offseason and a revamped offensive line that should help them get better. We'll start to see how it plays out here over the next couple of weeks. But certainly was a busy weekend out here at Baptist Sports Park. Titans have their 8 draft picks in the house for 2013, and fans get to see these guys in training camp in July. But until then, these guys will have to get work and try to get up to speed to help make the Titans better in 2013. For John Glennon with the Tennessean, I'm Jim Wyatt, and we'll see you here on Titans on Tennessean.com here for more videos over the next several months.